I pressed it.
Yeah, it's
Shalom. Shalom. And the music's not too loud? Who's that fighting?
because it's the curtain.
Oh. Welcome. Give it a couple minutes. Welcome to True Hebrews United. Oh, when I went to the 24-hour, I seen them rolling deep. There's a congregation that came, fringed up everything, like 6 of them at the college gym. I was like, where you shalom? Where you fellowship at? They said something United or whatnot. They weren't the typical ones. They were like a normal probably congregation. So I just sit there and kept pushing. They're moving. I was beasting it. But it's pretty good to see other brothers and sisters. I don't know, what they believe, but they came deep. They didn't get a good workout, I know for sure fact. 6 deep on chest day, but at least they came together. And way too much rest time, but I mean, I get it. They were just trying to fellowship. But so I was a major blessing. If I see them again, I'll try to see if they have a YouTube or not. Maybe they'll make that one. See how they're doing. You guys are late, buddy. You got the alarm clock for Sam.
He was up earlier too.
All of them were up. All of them were up.
That's cool.
So that was a major blessing.
It's nice.
Deep. All in that. The shirts were all flaming. Had the same style. Looked like we just got in the street or something.
Was it IUSC?
Nah, it wasn't something United or something, but I don't think they weren't in purple. They weren't like the Power Rangers that so they dress regular. Well, it could be their street uniform versus their dress uniform. Because, some of them looking straight like Lord of the Rings and stuff. Straight going to the Mordor. You know what I'm saying? To drop off the ring. Few more minutes and we get busy. Turn the music off. Shalom. We will do a quick prayer when we get started for Sister Gia's son. He still has a fever. He's not eating and he's not moving. So we'll be praying for him. The fever will leave. We're willing. Run it. This time for sure. For real, this is a short service so I can bring the news. I almost got carried away because more scriptures kept coming to my mind again. But actually, short service, praise Almighty. Sister Whitney, if you could get the shout outs for the last 2 services, because I forgot the last week's shout out. And if you could send that, having connective issues, be on in a minute. Alright, never mind. Let me see. I forgot to do the shout outs last week. Oh, she gave it to me. Alright, cool. It's time. Welcome. Let me turn off the music. Let's get it. Cool. Awesome. You guys doing all right? How you guys doing? Doing good? Next, I'll tell you guys a little bit because I want to be able to bring you guys up so other people see. So, lose you guys at it, ready for war next Sabbath. Welcome to True Hebrews United, Almighty Yeshua. Yeshua, holiness, instructor, discipleship, drill sergeant. About to get into the book as usual. Definitely give all honor to the Almighty Yah, the creator of all things, heaven and earth, our immune system, our ability to get money, our ability to get wealth. Definitely give glory to him through his son, Yeshua Mashiach, the only begotten of the Father. Definitely give glory, double honor to the apostles, the prophets, the evangelists, the teachers, the elders, the bishops, the deacons across the whole planet, teaching the word and persuading people to repent from their sin and come to this gospel for his everlasting too late. Definitely give shout out to the brothers and sisters, keeping the Almighty's commandments, statutes, judgments, precepts, and ways, and all the people on Facebook and YouTube that like, share, subscribe to the channel. I love you guys. I want you guys to make it to the kingdom. I want you guys to be saved. So, we will do a quick prayer real quick for Sister Gia's child. So if you guys are watching online, you guys, sisters out there want to cover your head, I'm going to do a quick prayer. You guys ready? Father, we come before you, and we thank you. His name is Yah, who we got Yeshua Mashiach. Thank you for today. Thank you for the Sabbath. Thank you for this opportunity for us to give the reading of the word, as well as for us to assemble together wherever we might be across the whole world. We pray for Sister Gia's son, that you have the fever leave, bring healing and strength back to him, bring his appetite back, and give a strong deliverance. And all this we pray in Yeshua's name. It will be so loud. So, Almighty, what else we got? All right, Brother Vince, you want to share something for the people real quick? And we'll get started on the word. Or just say hi to somebody there. So,
I will say hi.
yeah, there we go.
Hello. Brother Vince here. And just words of encouragement is that don't just let people bully you. You know, there's a lot of people out here in this world who think they're superior to you and whatnot, and you know, sometimes they get under our skin, but we allow stuff to slide. Don't be a pushover. You know what I'm saying? When you come into the Most High and you start to learn His ways, you're gonna find that you got more power than you think you do. You know what I'm saying? You begin to let go of things that cause you to have fear, or you know, and you just become stronger and bolder. And so, never be afraid of opposition. You know what I'm saying? We are overcomers, those that choose the Most High in His ways. So just a word of encouragement. Keep pushing and stay in His lane. Yeah.
Praise the Almighty. Cool. Today will be a short service, so I can bring the news. Not a short service. The service will be the same length, but it'll be a shorter service. Smaller message, so I can bring the news to the table. So, with all that said being done, let's let the fingers do the walking and
Scriptures do the talking.
Very good. You guys did good on that. Good on that. Go ahead and give me 2 Chronicles chapter 15. I will be reading kind of quickly because we're going to read this whole chapter and then we're going to jump to the next chapter. 2 Chronicles chapter 15. Glasses?
577.
Not me. So you guys ready? Let's get it. And the Spirit of the Almighty came unto Ezra the son of Obed, and he went out to meet Asa, and said to him, Hear ye me, Asa, all of Judah and Benjamin. The Almighty is with you while you be with him, and if you will seek him, he will be found of you. But if you forsake him, he will forsake you. That's a fair deal on my book. Now for a long season Israel had been without a true Almighty, and without a teaching priest, and without the law. But when they were in trouble, did turn unto the Almighty Yah of Israel, and sought him, he was found of them. In those days there was no peace to him that went out, nor him that came in, and great vexations were upon all the inhabitants of the country. And nations were destroyed of nations, and city of city, for the Almighty did vex them with all adversity. Be strong therefore, and let not your hands be weak, for your work shall be rewarded. And when Asa heard the words and the prophecy of Obed the prophet, he took courage and put away the abominable idols out of the land of Judah and Benjamin, and all the cities he had taken away at Mount Ephraim, and renewed the altar of the Almighty that was before the porch of the Almighty. So he obeyed. And he gathered all of Judah and Benjamin, the strangers that were with them out of Ephraim and Manasseh and out of Simeon, and they fell upon to him out of Israel in all the abundance. And they saw that the Almighty his Yah was with him. So he gathered themselves together at Jerusalem in the 3rd month, in the 15th year of the month of the reign of Asa. And they offered unto the Almighty the same time the spoil which he had brought, 700 oxen, 7,000 sheep. They entered a covenant to seek the Almighty Yah of their fathers with all their heart and with all their soul. And whatsoever would not seek the Almighty Yah should be put to death. Wherefore, small and great, whether man or woman, they swear unto the Almighty with a loud voice, and with the shout, and with trumpets, and with cornets. And Judah rejoiced with the oath, for he swore unto his heart, and sought with him their whole desire. And he was found of them. The Almighty gave them rest about. Also, concerning Machah, the mother of Asa the king, he removed her from being queen. So he took down his mom, because his mom was an idol worshiper. And because she had made an idol in the grove, and Asa cut down the idol and stomped it and burnt it at the brook of Jordan. So he put the Almighty first. He didn't even let what his mom was doing deter him. But the high places were not taken away out of Israel. Nevertheless, the heart of Asa was perfect all his days. And he brought into the house of the Almighty the things of his father had dedicated, and him himself had dedicated silver and gold. And there was no more war unto the 35th year of the reign of Asa. Now, if you read the chapter before and whatnot, the Almighty was with him, and he destroyed. It says he destroyed the place with a great destruction. The Almighty helped him deliver Israel. Right now, verse 16. So Almighty helped him defeat great enemies. Chapter 16. And in the 6th and 30th year of the reign of Asa, Bashan, king of Israel, came up against Judah and built Ramah in the intent that he might let none go out or come into Asa, the king of Judah. So they're trying to besiege his land to starve him out. War of attrition. Then Asa brought out the silver and the gold out of the treasures of the house of the Almighty, and out of the house, and sent them to Ben-Hadad, king of Syria, and dwelt in Damascus, saying, There's a league between me and thee, and there was between my father and thy father. Behold, I sent thee silver and gold. Break the lead of Basan, king of Israel, that he may depart from me. And Ben-Hadad hearkened unto the king of Asa, and sent captains of his armies against the city of Israel. And they smote Ijon and Dan and Abilan and all the store cities in Naphtali. And it came to pass that when Bashan heard it, he left off from building Ramah and let the work cease. Now remember, Israel was divided in two. So it's Judah and the other 10 tribes because of Solomon's disobedience. So sometimes Israel and Judah didn't get along. So let's keep going. And Asa took up all Judah, and they carried away the stones of Ramah and timber thereof, wherefore Bashan was building, and he built there for Geba and Mizpah. So he hired the Gentiles to come to fight against Israel to get them from besieging the city of Jerusalem and whatnot. And at that time Hananiah the seer came to Asa the king of Judah and said unto him, Behold, because thou relied on the king of Syria, and not relied on the Almighty thy Yah, therefore the host of the king of Syria escaped out of thy hand. Were not the Ethiopians and the Lubims a huge host, and with very many chariots and horsemen? And yet because thou didst rely on the Almighty, he delivered thee into thy hand. For the eyes of the Almighty run to and fro throughout the whole earth, to shew himself strong on the behalf of them whose heart is perfect towards him. Herein thou hast done foolishly, therefore henceforth thou shalt have wars. So he forgot what the Almighty did to him early in life. The Almighty delivered him out of great battles in distress. And then something else comes up, and he relies on the Gentiles instead of relying on the Most High. So it says, you done foolishly. So sometimes we forget our past, and then when we get into another situation, whether bigger or smaller, we forget, like, the Almighty's already got me this far. And that's the point I want to get at. If he's already got you to start the race, he's going to get you to finish it.
That's right.
Go ahead and give me Matthew chapter 6. And it could be the little small things. His situation was pretty great because he was going to war and they were trying to take over Jerusalem. But sometimes even the small things we forget, like, hey man, this is nothing. My trust is in the Most High. Matthew chapter 6, verse 35. Mark chapter 6, sorry. Mark chapter 6, verse 35. Let's get it. All right. And when the day was now far spent, his disciples came unto him and said, This is a desert place, and now the time is far. Send them away that they may go into the country round about and into the villages, but buy themselves bread that they may have, for they have nothing to eat. And he answered and said unto them, Give ye them to eat. And they said unto him, Shall we go and buy 200 pennies worth of bread and give them to eat? And he said unto them, How many loaves have ye? Go and see. And when they knew, they say 5 loaves and 2 fishes. And he commanded them to make them sit down by companies upon the green grass. And they sat down in ranks by hundreds and by fifties. And when they had taken the 5 loaves and the 2 fishes, he looked up to heaven, and he blessed it, and brake the loaves, and gave to the disciples, and set them on the 2 fishes, and divided up them among all. And they did eat and were filled. And they took up 12 baskets full of fragments of the fishes. And they did eat of the loaves were about 5,000 men. So they ate, he fed 5,000 people. And he had 12 baskets full left, right? So let's go to chapter 8, verse 1. Chapter 8, verse 1. Here's a second time. In those days, the multitude being very great, having nothing to eat, Yeshua called the disciples and said unto them, I have compassion on the multitude, because they have now been with me 3 days and have nothing to eat. If I send them away fasting to their own houses, they will faint by the way, and divers of them came from far. And his disciples answered him, From whence can a man satisfy these men with bread in the wilderness? And he asked them, How many loaves have you? And they said, 7. And he commanded the people to sit down on the ground, and he took up the 7 loaves and gave thanks and brake them and gave them to the disciples and set before them. And the people set them before the people. And they had a few small fishes, and he blessed and commanded them to set them down before them. And they did eat and were filled. And they took up the broken meat that were left, 7 baskets. So the last time was 12, but this time was 7. And they that had eaten were about 4,000, and he sent them away. So the first time he fed, how many he fed the first time? Is he? How many he fed the first time? We're paying attention? Got you. So this time he fed 4,000. We're at verse 10, by the way. And straightway he entered into the ship with his disciples and came to the part of Damascus. And the Pharisees came forth, beginning to question him, seeking on a sign of heaven, tempting him. And he signed deeply into his spirit and said, Why doth the generation seek after a sign? Verily I say unto you, there shall no sign be given unto this generation. And he left them, entering into the ship, and departed. Now his disciples had forgotten to take bread, neither had they in the ship of them more than 1 loaf. And he charged them, saying, Take heed and beware of the leaven of the Pharisees, and of the leaven of Herod. And they reasoned among themselves, saying, Is it because we have taken no bread? And when Yeshua knew it, he said unto them, Why reason ye have no bread? Perceive ye not yet, neither understand? Have you your heart yet hardened? Having eyes you see not, having ears hear not? And it says, And do you not remember when I brake the 5 loaves among 5,000, or how many baskets and fragments you took up? And they said unto him, 12. And the 7 among the 4,000, how many baskets and fragments you took up? And they said, 7. And he said, Then how is it that you do not understand? It says, Why are you worrying about bread? I just fed 5,000 the first time, and I fed 4,000 this time, and you're worrying about bread. You're worrying that we don't have bread in the ship. And it says, Do you not understand? And this is how it is sometimes when I walk with the Most High, is we almost forget the things that he's already done for us. Yep. And so then we go through other stuff, and it's like, oh, it's because we took no bread. It's like, look what I've done. He went to Asses. Asses, if you read the other chapters before, I didn't want to read too much. Chapter 14, 13, the Almighty had him destroy the Ethiopians, and the Almighty was with him. It says he destroyed with a mighty destruction. And so then when the next army comes, he goes and hires the Gentiles. It says, why did you run to the Gentiles? You've been running to me this whole time, and you want to run to the heathen? It says, For that, you're gonna always have war in your land. No more peace for you, right? Go ahead and say peace.
Peace.
Okay, we're gonna get into that in a little bit. So, let's get the shout outs before I forget this time. Shout outs. Praise the Almighty. It says Whitney Lane, Gia, Davine, Karen, Couture, Renee, Yahoo.com, Yeshua Ben Israel 5, Occupate, Jamie Janlo, Kamari Ariel, Nava Kashet, Zahara Zadek. Shalom.
Vinny Kovish.
Well, she didn't put it on here, so you wasn't watching. So, anyways, that was the last service. Hey, so we go through our wilderness. Our wilderness is now. They had their wilderness in 40 years, but this is our wilderness. And when he gets us to start the race, he's going to have us finish it. We're going to get to the finish line. But in between, while we're in our mini wilderness, sometimes we forget of what he's already done. Because how is it that these apostles could forget, man, we don't have no bread, man, what are we going to eat? It's like, dude, I just fed 4,000 and I fed another 5,000. And we have more than what we had left over than what you gave me. So let's keep going. Hebrews chapter 6 and Hebrews chapter 3. Verse 16. Hebrews chapter 3, verse 16. Let's get it. For some, when they had heard, did provoke, how that not all that came out of Egypt by Moses, by with whom was he grieved 40 years, was it not with them that had sinned, whose carcasses fell in the wilderness, to whom he swore that they should not enter into his rest, but to them that believe not. So we see that they could not enter in because of unbelief. So they ran this race. The start was from captivity, which people are captive to sin. Well, the Almighty Mashiach said, it says, who you yield your members to, you're a servant to sin. So they came out of slavery, or now we come to this gospel captive to sin, and he's trying to get you into his rest, into eternal freedom, which for us is salvation, but for them was the promised land, right? So they couldn't make it in because of unbelief. Just like Asa, the Almighty was with him, and he was walking with him until he started to doubt, and then now that's when problems arise. So these people couldn't make it into unbelief. Go ahead and give me Deuteronomy chapter 8. I guess I'll take one. Deuteronomy chapter 8. Verse 1. Deuteronomy chapter 8, verse 1. All the commandments which I command you this day shall you observe and do, that you may live and multiply and go and possess the land which the Almighty swore unto thy fathers. Thou shalt remember all the way where the Almighty thy Yah led these 40 years in the wilderness to humble thee and to prove thee to know what was in thy heart, whether thou wilt keep his commandments or no. Check this out. And he humbled thee and suffered thee to hunger and fed thee with manna, which thou knewest not, and did thy fathers know, that he might make thee known that man doth not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceeded out of the mouth of the Almighty. So he intentionally made them to go hungry, and he intentionally made them to go thirsty, so he could bring water out of the rock, and so he could bring manna down, so you could know that he is a provider and a protector, right? Verse 5. Your raiment waxed not old, neither did your foot swell 40 years. That means their sandals or their shoes grew with their feet. You're like, man, dude, my feet's getting bigger, but somehow it's my shoes. I'm not having to get a different shoe size. He literally said your feet did not swell. Your sandals grew with your feet. So let's keep going. And they ran these 40 years. Thou shalt also consider in thy heart that as a man chastises his son, so the Almighty Yah chastised thee. So he makes us go through these things just to show that he's a provider. All right, imagine Mike Tyson. Who here, most people would not want to fight Mike Tyson, right? Is that correct? Is that a pretty correct statement? Now imagine if Mike Tyson was saying, I'm the greatest on the planet, right? But he never fought one fight. Who will believe it? How do you know how great Mike Tyson is without you seeing him fight? And how do we know the goodness of the Most High, that he's a provider, if I never got suffered the hunger, if I never got suffered the thirst, if I never was behind in rent, if I was never figured out how I'm going to put gas in the tank or how I'm going to feed my kids? That's like Mike Tyson saying I'm the greatest and he's never been in one fight. No one's ever seen him fight, but he's saying I'm the greatest fighter. You're saying we serve the Almighty provider. Then how do you know he's a provider? How do you know he's a protector? You have to be put in a position for him to protect. You have to be put in a position for him to provide. This is why he says, when we read in 1 Chronicles, we read that, it says, the eyes of the Almighty run to and fro the earth to show himself strong on the behalf of them who heart is perfect before him. But Asa messed up, right? So, we see in that as we start this race, and if he allowed you to run this race, he allowed you to come into truth, he will take you to the finish line. But while you're running this race, don't doubt. When Peter said, bid me to come, and he walked on water, only when the waves got unstable and he looked down, unbelief set in, then he began to sink. And then he grabbed him by a hand and took him to the ship. He said, hey, well, ye of little faith, why'd you doubt? You were already walking on the water. You already seen that I'll protect you. I'll give you the ability. Why'd you doubt? And that's what happens. Sometimes he'll do a great miracle 5 years ago or 3 years ago, or he'll provide or come through. And then years later, a situation will come up, whether greater or smaller. And then we would forget that, man, he's been doing this the whole time. This is why he's sworn this wrath, Israel will not get in. You've seen the plagues I gave Israel, that I gave Egypt. You've seen that I split the Red Sea. You've seen that I brought manna down. You've seen that I put water out of the rock 2 times and provided quails to come down. Manna every day. You've seen the pillar of fire at night and you see the cloud during the day, and yet you still don't believe. The apostles literally seen him feed 5,000 people with a couple of fishes, and 4,000 with a couple of fishes and a couple of loaves of bread. And then they still like, man, what are we going to eat? It's because we didn't take bread in the ship. It's like, ye of little faith, you don't understand? How many times you see me feed 1,000 people with a couple of fishes and loaves? And yet you run across a little situation like not bringing bread on the ship and you're still without understanding? And that's how we do sometimes. So let's keep going. Give me Matthew chapter 6.
Matthew or Mark?
Matthew this time. Keep you guys on your toes. Matthew this time. Verse 25. Therefore I say unto you, take no thought for what your life, what you shall eat, or what you shall drink, nor yet what your body, what you shall put on. Is not the life more than meat, and the body more than raiment? Behold the fowls of the air, for they sow not, neither do they reap, nor do they gather into the barns. Yet your heavenly Father feedeth them. Are ye not much better than they? Which of you taking thought at a cubit to your stature? And a cubit is roughly 24 inches, 18 and 24 inches, or arm's length. That was a cubit. So when you see Goliath was 9 cubits, it was roughly 9 to 12 feet tall, right? Or 6 cubits. Roughly 9 to 12 feet tall, right? So if you can't just add a cubit to your statue, it says, why take thought for your raiment? Consider the lilies of the field, how they grow, and they toil not, neither do they spin. And yet I say you that even Solomon in all his glory was not arrayed like one of these. Wherefore, if God so clothe the grass of the field, which is today is and tomorrow is cast into oven, shall not much more he clothe thee, ye of little faith? Take no thought for what you should, no thought saying, what shall I eat, or what shall I drink, wherefore shall we be clothed? For all after these things the Gentiles seek. For your heavenly Father knoweth you have needed these things. He already knows when your rent's due. I know when your rent's due. It's on the 1st. You might have 3 to 5 days to get it in. I know when the Almighty knows this. See, what happens is,
is we have a standard of living. And sometimes the Almighty has us to go 6 months or a year or 2 months below our norm. And it sucks because we can't get as much groceries, or we can't eat as much food, or we can't go as much places, and money is tight, or we are broke for 6 months. It says there's a time to gain, there's a time to lose. There's a time to laugh, there's a time where he had blood, and there's a time you refrain. And we go through our valleys. And this is the time where we just have trust in the Most High. This is the time where you truly have faith. Because how do you say have faith when your faith is not tested? How do I know that my wife is faithful if a good-looking guy that she's attracted to do not get at her and she says, no, I'm married? She can say she's faithful all you want, but you don't know until you put a test load under the relationship and a test load in our relationship with the Most High. Everyone could say they believe. But when it's time to give up Christmas, when it's time to cut family and friends off, when it's time to do this, then all of a sudden, you see who's on the rocky ground. You see who's on the thorny ground. The people on the rocky ground and thorny ground say they believe. Just like the people on the good ground. The tares and the wheat grow up together saying, praise the Almighty. But in the time of harvest, you're going to see who's the wheat and the tare and who's the sheep and the goats. And because the test is going to come and a fork's in the road, and Abraham said, sacrifice your son, Abraham. He put a test under his relationship. Abraham said, no problem. And so then when we get below our norm or a financial or struggle or sickness, and we're going through it, we still have faith in the Most High. Yeah, I'm sick, but I know He's a healer. Yeah, I know I'm broke, but I know He's a provider. Hey, this is a phase. This is a season. There'll come a time where I'll look at this time and be like, man, I remember those days. Praise the Almighty. And when He brings us out of it, we're so much thankful because we get complacent and we get comfortable. I was talking to Brother Vince about, I was hiring some people and they got too comfortable having this be that they think this is the standard. Let's bring you back. Let's bring you back down to the regular standard where you have to provide for your own things, right? Mm-hmm. And it's the same thing. It's like we get comfortable and then when we go through a struggle, we forget. Just totally forget what He's got us through, how He's got us here. So, give me Hebrews chapter 12. We're almost done here too. Hebrews chapter 12. And we're going to start at verse 1. Hebrews chapter 12, verse 1. Wherefore, seeing we are compassed about with so great cloud of witnesses, it says, let us lay aside every weight and sin that with so easily beset us, and let us run this race with patience that is set before us. So the Almighty has us running a race. Some people run fast. Some people walk. Well, I guess you got to run. Some people sprint. Everyone goes at different paces, right? But our goal is to get to the finish line. And what do you think the finish line is, Josh? Very good. Salvation, right? New heaven, new Jerusalem, right? If He lets you run this race, that means He has called you to salvation. And He is saying, I will guarantee that you will finish this marathon if you stay with me. These people had a race from Egypt unto a land filled with milk and honey. And they fell away because of unbelief. They forgot all the plagues He did to Pharaoh. They forgot the split in the Red Sea. They forgot the water out of the rock. They forgot the manna that comes down every single day. That was just a miracle every day. They forgot hearing His voice in Mount Horeb. And somehow when they came to the Philistines, they didn't believe the Most High. Even though the Most High destroyed all of Pharaoh's army, you see some giants and you're like, no, we can't do it. So they couldn't finish the run race. So He swore in His wrath they shall not enter in. You're not going to make it to the land of milk and honey. And our race is to get to new heaven, new earth, and new Jerusalem. And if He called us to run the race, He's going to be with us the whole time. And sometimes you're going to get tired. Sometimes you're going to be broke. Sometimes you're going to be sick. Sometimes you're going to get, your marriage is going to suck. Your relationship with your kids, job, lost a job, whatever. But He is with you. He is with you the whole time. So why forget? How can you halfway during the race and quit when he got you this far? If he got them to the wilderness with all these miracles, he's going to get them to the promised land. It says, let us run this race with patience. We see what happens when people doubt. It won't be you just doubt and you deny the Most High. It could just be a financial situation. And the Almighty, let's say what we're in is a video game. I'm not going to say we're in a simulation, right? But let's say someone codes a video game. On the video game, there's limitations. So many hits, you die. You can only hold so much ammo. You can only do so much. You got HP. You got whatever, right? Defense, shield, whatever. But the Almighty's outside of the video game. And he could give you seeing through walls. Or he could give you where you're invincible, right? So we look at our bills. You're like, I get paid this much a week, and this is how my bills. It is mathematically impossible for me to make it through this month. I am going to get evicted at this thing. And you start stressing out. Because what you're saying is accurate. It is true. You don't mathematically produce enough money to pay certain bills. But the Almighty is outside the video game. He doesn't have limitations like you put on the video game. On the video game, you only have so much health. You only could do so much. You can't fly, or you can fly, or you can't do that. You have the limitations. The Almighty does not have the limitations. We serve the Almighty. That is without limitations. He's Almighty, all-powerful, right? He could do anything, like Job said. I know, Almighty, thou could do anything, right? So then that is our Father. So then when something happens and we're able to come through time and time again, or the doctors can't explain why your stuff is in remission, or your doctors can't explain where we can't find this anymore in your body, you know it's the Most High. There is no limits to Him. And if we're His children, then He's going to get us through. So let's keep going. Give me Isaiah 26. Verse 26, chapter 26, Isaiah 26, verse 2 and 3. Open ye the gates, that the righteous nation which keepeth the truth may enter in. Open the gates, right? Righteous people. Check this out. Thou wilt put him in perfect peace, whose mind is stayed upon thee, because he trusted in thee. There's supposed to be a peace that falls upon us when we go through this stuff. Financial, marriage, maybe you're married to an unbeliever, your wife married to an unbeliever is causing conflict, whatever, right? Your marriage is garbage or something, right? But there should be a peace and a calm because you know you're His daughter or you know you're His son. That at the end of the day, He is in control and He knows what's going on in your life because we put our trust in Him. It says He'll put you in perfect peace. So when you doubt, it's a balance. This needs to be 0, doubt. And this is faith, 100. And when we start doubting or we start stressing over a situation that we can't control, you go to the hospital and say this is a situation is out of your control anyway, and you start getting anxiety or stress or depression, then this is where faith drops. It's on a pendulum. Because there's no way you're going to have doubt or anxiety or depression or stress. Be stressed over a situation. And most of the situations we stress on is out of our control. Oh, I'm waiting for the paperwork because my money's supposed to get in. It's out of your control. You can't force them to mail your money. You can't force this. It's out of your control, so why stress over it anyways? So then your stress goes up, and guess what happens? Your faith goes down. Because they seen those giants, and their stress went up. And they said, there's no way. Mathematically, we don't have enough soldiers. We're not strong enough. Inside this video game, simulation, I cannot defeat these giants. But they forgot the Almighty they serve. They start looking at that and crunching numbers. Stress went up, faith went down. Guess what? You can't enter in because you don't believe in me. And so we will go through this wilderness, and we will go through situations, some smaller than our past ones, and some greater than our past ones. Like I've never been through this situation before. The Almighty's going to have to come through this one. Or it might be a regular one. And then you forget that you're halfway done through this marathon. You're halfway done with the race. Just finish the race. If he called you to run the race, then you're going to finish. He called you to salvation. So, give me, all right, so verse 3, thou will keep him in perfect peace, whose mind is stayed upon the Lord. Remember peace, right? He'll put him in perfect peace, right? Let's go to 57. Now, I'm not talking to you people that's hypocrites now. I got 2 scriptures for you, and then we're done. I gotta get with the news. Isaiah 57. Verse 21. Isaiah 57, verse 21. There is no peace, said the Almighty, to the wicked. There is no peace to the wicked. So this message, all you people that's really living in sin, this applies to you, meaning these are the benefits of fully repenting and coming to the Almighty and getting baptized and be on his payroll. These are the benefits, but you can't rely that he's with you if you're living wicked and living in sin. There is no peace to you, but he puts them in perfect peace whose mind is stayed upon the Lord. He says, come in open the gates, the righteous that fear the Most High. He puts them in perfect peace whose mind is stayed upon the Lord. The people living in sin, hey, there's no peace for you. That scripture Isaiah 26 don't apply to you. One more scripture. Proverbs chapter 13. Verse 15. Proverbs chapter 13, verse 15. A good understanding giveth favor, but the way of a transgressor is hard. The way of a transgressor is hard. He puts us in peace. We will have some hard situations, trials, loss of jobs, whatever, evictions. Even if you get, it says you could suffer loss and still be saved. You could get evicted, and that does not dictate your salvation. You could lose your marriage. You could lose your relationship with your kids. You could lose your job. That does not, none of that, these things dictate your salvation. They don't dictate if you live holy or live not. They don't dictate if you keep the commandments or not, if you have faith in the Most High or not. Don't let financial status ruin your relationship with the Most High. Because typically you're like, man, I really need this job. Am I going to break the Sabbath? Now you stop having faith in the Most High, being a provider. Tithes and offering, oh, now you stop having faith in the Almighty, being a provider. Oh, well, I really don't want to mess up my relationship with this. Now you stop having faith in the Most High. Oh, well, they're doing a company Thanksgiving thing, and if I don't show up, it looks bad, and I really want this promotion. Now you stop having faith in the Most High. Because it says promotion comes from the Most High. It says he gives us the ability to establish wealth. We'll read. Go ahead. You got your phone on you? Give me that scripture. Promotion comes from the Most High. So he gives us the ability. So, oh, well, if I don't show up, it's going to look bad, even though I don't celebrate Thanksgiving. But if I don't come to the thing, they're going to look at me weird and this and this and this. I'm going to be outcast. Where's your faith lie? Because now you're having doubt. You want to succeed at this career, but you serve the Most High and you start doubting. And then it says, if you deny me before men, I'll deny you before the angels, which is in heaven. Here's your situation to take a stance and say, no, I don't observe that. I keep the commandments of the Most High.
Psalm 75.
Psalm 75.
6.
Psalm 75, verse 6. For promotion cometh neither from the east, nor from the west, nor from the south. But God is the judge, and putteth down and setteth up. The Almighty is the one that raiseth up. Promotion comes from the Most High. So this is why these situations come, and we got to fully run this race. Don't doubt, don't have disbeliefs. Everyone deals with a certain level of stress. Whether lost a job or a certain level. But that level of stress shouldn't deplete from your faith in the Most High. Anxiety, oh, I got to do this. Will I make it in time? I'm trying to be on work on time. Yeah, you're stressed out. You woke up late. You don't want to be. You want to have a good reputation. That's totally different. You know, oh, you're trying to get things done, got a level of anxiety. Maybe you're sad for a little bit, you know, but your sadness shouldn't go into depression because now you don't have faith in the Most High. You should have some calm about you. Like, this situation I do not like, but I do know the Almighty's in control. I do know I'm keeping His commandments, and I do know that He will get me through this because I'm keeping His commandments. It says the way of a transgressor is hard. It says there is no rest for the wicked. So you people living in hypocrisy, no, these scriptures don't apply to you. But the people living clean and holy, separated to the Most High, oh, he's in your corner. So, with all that said being done, I'm going to do the hand clap. Then we'll get into the news. With all that said being done, keep saying, don't trust again. Get the almighty hand clap. Let's get into the news. See some of these comments. I love the breakdown. It's encouraging. Because boy, I tell you. Cool. I appreciate that. Sorry if you comment. It's kind of far. So every once in a while I'll try to read. They're kind of scrolling up. So I don't see them all. I'm not that ignoring you guys. So, we're going to deal with Chase Bank. Once again, dealing with these bankers. Chase Bank started to deny in certain locations receiving cash deposits. So more and more places is trying to do away with cash. Amazon Go. There's not a lot of Amazon Go, but I guess there's a big Amazon Go store. I forgot where it's located. They're trying to pull out receiving cash. Walt Disney is trying to go cashless. Sweet Green. More and more stores. I think Starbucks is trying to go cashless too. So this is all trying to link up to the CBDC, meaning the banks and these companies are in the pockets of the government. And so they're all, when you look at a Starbucks or a Walmart, you might as well just look at a government institution. You might as well look Target, all these people, just look at them all the same, right? So there's some cities that are abandoned: LA, San Francisco, Berkeley, New York City, Philadelphia, New Jersey, Massachusetts, Rhode Island. They're trying to ban businesses from doing cashless. They say if you're going to run your business in this city, you need to receive cash. On the dollar it says legal tender. This is legal tender, but there is no law that says a business has to accept legal tender. So they're trying to make a ban. People are fighting against it, but this is all lining up to the CBDC. The more businesses that go cashless, the harder it is going to be for the people of the Most High. Because not only they could track everything you do, but they're trying to get to the CBDC, and I'm telling you, pretty soon, they're going to want this chip in your hand. They're like, oh, we're not accepting, pretty soon it's not accepting cash, and then guess what? We're not accepting debit cards anymore. I'm only going to accept because identity theft and people could fake credit cards and credit card theft, and it's unsafe and we don't know, and money laundering, whatever excuse they use to take more freedoms from you. Whatever they're going to false flag, they're going to bring up something stupid, and they said the only way we're going to trust is if this chip right here is in your hand. So pretty soon they're not accepting cash, and then pretty soon they're not going to accept debit card. They're only going to accept what's in your hand. It's coming. I'm a firm believer it will happen in our lifetime. I'm not saying the Almighty is going to return, but I think we will see some stuff with Bible prophecy, Book of Revelation happen. I'm not prophesying, but we are so close to a Catholic society and to one world government. I can see it happen with the AI, with the algorithm, total control, the all-seeing eye, all that stuff. The music industry is blatantly putting devil work. They don't even have symbolic things or Easter eggs. They just blatantly put devil worship and stuff in the music and the TV shows. They got movies about the devil and Satan and stuff like that. Like, they're not even hiding it anymore. They push their woke agenda and their pedophile agenda. They're not even hiding it. It's blatant. So it's going down. Second part of the news I want to get with. So I'm telling you, and also with that, please get your money out of the banks. They are freezing people's accounts. Get your money out of the banks. Only use your money to pay bills. Drive cash. Get cash in hand. Get cash in hand. If you have to move to another state that takes cash, take cash. I say get out of Babylon anyways, so that's on you. So, there was a study. I didn't get a chance to read the whole video because I try to bring up news. There was a study. The deaths and sicknesses and sterilizations, birth rates have been dropping in cities that have 5G, right? Hopefully this don't get censored or whatnot, because I don't know, YouTube be tripping, but whatever, right? They have 5G. The children are at risk. So I try not to use this in the gym because everyone's using their Bluetooth in the gym, and I use earbuds, and I try to use regular corded things as much as possible. I just want to at least stop my Bluetooth and Wi-Fi a little bit. That does not mean the towers is still microwaving your brain, all right? If you hear people with the tetanus or something with the ringing, that's happened more and more with people. That's that 5G. Because every time I go to Belize, I don't have that. But every once in a while, like once a week or once a month, I hear the ringing, and I look up, and there's a 5G tower pretty close. Because I'll just look up and just look. I'm like, oh, there's a 5G tower. The big one with the whole little things they try to hide it in palm trees sometimes so you don't notice. So, there are, I've seen a couple of videos where people were doing lead or a black charcoal paint, and they paint the outside of their house, and it at least blocks the 5G. A little bit of it will get into the windows, but there's a meter you could buy that I want to read, and it tells you, and it says the green, the medium, and the red, and it tells you when you're super high, and you want to keep it as low as possible so you're not getting poisoned. So, I mean, if you had the money, the outside of your house, special paint, and then put the paint over, and it blocks the radio waves, the microwave waves, right? So, also, their plan is to put 5G in rural areas because it will kill off the insects, because they want to have a decrease in food, and guess who owns the food? Bill Gates and all the other wicked people. So, to prove that, I'm going to show you, I Googled it and screenshot it. This is on Google. I put 5G network and bees. 5G network and bees. I'm going to read it for you and I'll show you. As it is well known, the plants on the planet are mainly pollinated by honeybees and other insects. A significant reduction of pollinators will lead to the harvest failure. Therefore, 5G systems might significantly damage the life cycle of insects, and this will lead to destruction of the food chain. If you couldn't read it because it didn't zoom in, put 5G network and bees on your Google. So now they're trying to put 5G in the rural areas. So, I'll just buy my own land, and I'll just homestead, and I'll live off the grid, which you're supposed to do, but they coming after you too. I keep telling you guys to get out of Babylon. Here's the problem. You guys want to keep staying in Babylon. Your economy is trash. AI is taking all your jobs. Even I've seen self-checkout at the straight Dollar Tree, to where they have less employees at the Dollar Tree. AI and algorithms taking all your stuff. Your food, if it doesn't not Monsanto, if it doesn't have steroids and poisons in the meat and the poultry, if it's not the pesticides that's killing you, if it's not the genetically modified, all your food is poison. Even the kosher stuff that they say is poison. Your water, with your fluoride water and the stuff they put in the system to sterilize you and keep you calm. Your air, you got your air from your chemtrails, and you got your air from your straight 5G networks poisoning you. Your false news, your censorship, your forced lies, and they spy on you through your TV and your phone. Why do you want to still stay in Babylon? There is nothing here for you. There's nothing here in this land for you. And yet you still want to stay. And when they push this stuff, these CBDs, they're going to go to these developed places first. They're coming after you. And I keep telling you, hey, get out of Babylon. You need to be a prepper. Get out of Babylon and start being a prepper. Those two hand in hand. And other than that, find a congregation. Find a congregation. You cannot be saved unless you're baptized, and only ministers baptized biblically. You will not find anyone baptized that was not a minister. So you need to find a congregation. Find some brothers and sisters that will truly love you, be in your corner, and got your back. Because the lone wolf starves, and the lone sheep gets picked off. The lone wolves roll in a pack for a reason. They roll in a pack for a reason. And you can say, oh, I do it myself. I just take my brother to do it myself. You're going to get wiped out. You're going to get wiped out. So, hopefully that helps. Hey, use discretion. Get your stuff. There's land. If you guys got questions, meet up with Sister Keturah. If you're trying to get out of Babylon and whatnot, they got land for cheap in Belize. Super cheap. You could start afresh. Maybe I need to start putting that stuff out there. You could start afresh. If you want to chill out there, spot out the land, you can find places to rent for like $300 US a month, $200, $250 US a month. You can find places out there cheap. While you go to Airbnb for super cheap, cheaper than the States. Spy out the land, see a good place, buy some land, set up shop. They could build you a house for a nice little steel for super cheap. Hey, get out of Babylon. Be a prepper. Get your own land. So, with all that said being done, keep standing. Don't drop standards. See the Almighty hand clap. Shalom.